and what's important here, and what you need to hear me when I say this, because this is why people get denied from Outschool. This is why people's classes get denied. It's because they don't explain how. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Catherine and welcome back. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you so much. On this channel, I talk about ways to make money online from online teaching and how to travel the world. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe like I just said. Okay, anyway, moving on. Just want to give you a little brief summary before we dive into it. So anyway, going into it. Today we're talking about one-time classes for Outschool. Now, if you're an Outschool teacher, or especially if you are just starting on Outschool, one-time classes are about to be your best friend, okay? Now, if you're unaware, Outschool has 4 different class types. I'm not going to get into them right now because I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, but we're just focusing on one-time classes. And the reason why one-time classes are so important, especially if you're a new teacher, I almost said student, is that it gives you opportunities to kind of dabble in different things. So if you're just starting, you kind of don't really know what your niche is yet, or what you really want to teach about. It's changed for me. For example, when I first got it started, I wanted to teach about makeup. I taught a couple makeup classes. I was like, no, thank you. And since then, I've transitioned into like acting and improv kind of stuff. But until I kind of landed on that, I tried a ton of different classes out. If you want to see some of my failures, definitely watch this video. My unsuccessful Outschool classes kind of give you an insight of what I did before I started to niche down. But one-time classes kind of let you dabble in different things. You can try piano lessons, or you can try speaking Japanese, or drawing llamas, or whatever you want through one-time classes. And it's not really a big commitment, not like a multi-day class or an ongoing class. If you have no idea what those are, I have a whole other video explaining the differences coming to you soon, so yeah. And besides all that, one-time classes are the easiest to get approved. They are just one time. They can be any length you want, from like 20 minutes to an hour, hour and a half. I think the hour and a half is the longest you can go. I don't know why you'd want to do it that long, but typically mine are anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes long. Now, if you already know what you want your one-time class to be about, if you're like, I just don't know how to write the description, go to this time right here and I'll tell you. I'll show you all the tips and tricks, okay? But if you are lost and confused and have no idea what you're doing, or no idea what you want to teach, keep watching because this is important. We are going to dive into my laptop and we are going to look at the class listings that Outschool sends every Sunday. Sometimes they've been a little lazy. They don't always send it on Sundays, but as of recently, they've been very good about it. And I've gotten like 12 of these emails, so not really like 3, but still. So anyway, what I like to do is I like to go through this list, and I keep a little notebook next to me, and I write down every class that inspires me. Any class that I'm like, that looks like fun, I might want to teach about that, and I just kind of write it down. I went through all these, nothing really stuck out to me. Oh, and the bottom right here is super helpful because it kind of tells you like what people are looking for, like what's super popular that may not get a lot of search results. I also find it funny that Lainey's on here. If you don't know who Lainey is, she's another YouTuber. I actually just got her membership, her team membership, and it's been super helpful so far. So if you can join her team membership, I highly recommend. It's only the first month, but I've actually learned a lot about niching down and stuff, so super helpful. Definitely go subscribe to Lainey. But I just think it's funny that she's on here. But anyway, yeah, none of these really spoke to me. I kind of glanced at them, so we're just gonna pick a random one, like learning to live in an RV full time. So say you want to offer that class, say you want to make that class, you just click offer class, okay? And it takes you straight to Outschool, and from here, you kind of go through all the steps. So you'll make a name. I try and make the names like as searchable as possible. So for these, I always think like, what would I type in here? What would I type in here that people would actually search? You know, I'm not gonna type in Catherine's crazy creative ideas for interior design RV living. Like, don't know if that would get a lot of hits, but yeah, but you can also make it cutesy. My improv classes, I make very cutesy. It's called Whose Class Is It Anyway? And if you watch the show Whose Line Is It Anyway, please let me know, because none of these students have ever seen that show, and I love that show. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, we're gonna give it a fun title, like How to Live in an RV Full Time. And I do like to put the ages. I'm gonna put 4 to 6 because I think that's the most popular age, especially right now in the fall time since everyone's at school. Then you hit next. I know they asked for 18, but you can make it 18. But I'm not actually doing this. This is just to show you an example. So then summary, you're gonna put 2 sentences about like what the class is about. We're gonna come back to that later. Subject, you would choose a subject for this. I would say it's life skills. I would say it's life skills. But if Outschool doesn't like that, they'll tell you, and then you can just change it to arts or whatever you think fits, but life skills sounds fine. Of course, you're going to pick one time because this is a one-time class, and then you're going to do an image and video. I have a couple different videos that explain how to make the course image and how to make the course video, so again, just click this little eye and all those videos pop down. I also have a video on how to get Canva Pro for free if you're a teacher, so definitely watch that video, if nothing else. Skipping over that, of course, you're going to put in the age, the class size, course duration, whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. But let's get to the description, because the description is honestly the most important part and what you need to know. Okay, so what I do for all my descriptions is I make sure I answer all these questions right here, these topics to include. As long as you answer those questions, you should be good, okay? But I also really like this article on Outschool. It's called Sample Class Listings for New Teachers, and it is so helpful. Whether you're making a one-time class, a multi-day class, ongoing class, whatever, it kind of helps you better understand what they're looking for as far as approving your class goes. So I just kind of scroll down. Did I pass it? No. One-time class. So it explains what one-time classes are. So if you don't know, pause this video, read that. And then it gives you an example. So it's only a paragraph long. Typically a paragraph is 5 to 6 sentences. You can maybe have a couple more if you want to, but there's definitely a minimum, and that is 500 characters. So you definitely have to write bit more. You can't just put 500 words, call it a day, if it doesn't answer all the questions. And what's important here, and what you need to hear me when I say this, because this is why people get denied from Outschool, this is why people's classes get denied, it's because they don't explain how. You have to explain how you're going to teach these things. You can't just say, we're going to bake cookies. I'm going to teach them measurements and what flour does. Okay? But how? Are you going to have a song that you're going to sing? And if so, because I see a lot of people saying that they're going to sing songs or they're going to do songs about stuff. If you're going to do a song, what song? What's it about? Will they know the words? Will you send them to them beforehand? Like, put yourself in a parent's shoes. You know, if you're going to pay for something, you want to know everything about it, right? So how are you going to teach? What songs are you going to learn? If you're not going to do a song, are you going to do a PowerPoint? What's going to be covered on this PowerPoint? How much interaction are you going to have with the students? How are you going to teach how to cook? Are you going to show them? Are you going to bake with them? Or is it just you baking? Like, you need to address and answer all these questions, okay? Or you're not going to get bookings, A, but really you're not going to get approved to teach this class, because if Outschool doesn't understand what you're teaching or how you're going to teach, then they don't approve it. Okay, so make sure you're explaining how you're going to teach, and besides how, what you're going to cover, what the students are going to do, how much interaction there's going to be, or is it more of a lecture class where the students have zero interaction and it's just you talking the entire time? Like, what's it going to be? So make sure to answer all of these questions, okay? And I know it's not saying this as bluntly as I'm saying it, but say how you're going to teach. If you do not say how and explain how, you will get denied from Outschool, and your class will get denied from Outschool. I'm not sure if you're watching this as you're applying or you're just already a teacher and you just want to know what's up, but explain how. It makes the biggest difference. How are you going to teach? And of course, what are you going to teach about and all the other stuff, but definitely what people, oh yes, how will you teach? How is your class structured? They do ask that. I think people just glance over this and don't answer it. Answer it! And again, this could be a game. Outschool really likes interaction. They really pride themselves on having small classes with lots of interaction, lots of, you know, the students are going to be doing a lot of stuff. So whether that be a game, explain what that game is, what will be covered in that game, what will the kids learn from that game. If it is a lecture, a PowerPoint, explain what you're going to be going over, what is going to be covered, what the students will learn from it. If it is baking cookies, explain how you will teach them. How will you bake the cookies? What will they learn from that? In this example, which again, I highly recommend this article. I have it linked on my website, CatherineDavis.com, under the application, Outschool application process tab. So definitely check that out, especially if you're a referrer of mine, because I made that for you, okay? And if you're not a referrer of mine, you can be with the link below. Helps me, and in return, I help you. But I have this linked there. It's called Sample Class Listings for New Teachers, and they go over all the different types of classes, but they go over the one-time class. As I was saying, the Let's Bake Cookies class, they go over how to make chocolate chip cookies. They will discuss the ingredients, how to measure them properly. As a teacher, I will guide them through the process of preparing the dough and baking the cookies through modeling and describing what I am doing. That's explaining how she's gonna bake cookies. She didn't just say, I'm gonna bake cookies and they're gonna watch. Pay me. Doesn't work like that. Explain how. Okay. Getting off my soapbox now. People don't listen when I say that. How? Explain how. Okay. Done. So of course, once that's done, you can put in learning goals, which is optional, but I like to do it. Homework and assessment, both optional. I don't do either of those. If you are someone that does that, please tell me why, because I do not understand why you do that. Especially for a one-time class, because you don't meet up with them again. You don't see them again, so why put the extra stress on yourself? You know? Just don't do that. This next class is a great way to mark it, so you can like pick, you know, a class that you want to pop up for them once they're done taking your one-time class. Additional notes, so all this is kind of additional materials, so learner list supply, so for example, if you're doing the baking cookies one, you want to put that they need a cooking sheet and they need all these ingredients, and yeah, everything that they need for a class, definitely mention right here. And then for enrolled learners, that's the welcome post. So I pretty much just say like, hello, welcome to this class. And then I copy my description here. You're gonna spend the most amount of time on the description, so you might as well post it everywhere. I put it in the welcome post and the email that is sent out, which I think is the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. And of course, last but not least is pricing. So I have a whole video going over pricing, what to price your classes depending on X, Y, and Z. So definitely click that little I, check it out, and yeah. So the most important thing about these one-time classes is the description. Make sure you're answering all those questions that I went over. Make sure you're explaining how you are going to teach, how things are going to be done in your classroom, and remember, like, are you going to pay for something that you don't know what's going on? No! Parents aren't going to pay, you know, $10, $15 for their kids to take some random class if they don't know what it's about, what's going to be covered, what they need to do for their little 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds. I don't know if they can be 2. But just explain all those things, and not only will you get approved to be an Outschool teacher, but your class will be approved and you'll make money and life is beautiful again. So thank you so much for watching this video. If it helped you in any way, please like and subscribe. It helps me, and in return, I make lovely content like this. So yeah. And if you'd like to become an Outschool teacher, all that information is in the description below. And I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye!